I'm Alex Dykes, and today we're taking a look at the 2014 Chrysler uConnect 8.4 system in the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. This is an all-new system for 2014 in the Grand Cherokee. Last year it used their very archaic 6-inch touchscreen system. This is completely different, has no shared features with that outgoing system. First off, we have this large 8.4-inch touchscreen right here in the dashboard. We have some physical buttons down below. Unlike some of the competitive systems, there's no home screen in uConnect. Everything is dictated by these buttons right down here at the bottom of the screen. We have our radio, our media, controls. This is where you'll find your heated seats, your ventilated seats, your heated steering wheel, etc. Climate control right there, navigation, if so equipped, phone over here, and then integrated apps. This is what's new for 2014 is the apps page in the uConnect 8.4 system. Since we're in an SRT model, we have the SRT performance pages. These load as an app in the system. While we're waiting for that to load, let's go over these buttons down below. We have physical buttons for the climate control system right down here. That's so that you don't have to dig through this touchscreen in order to do that. We have a screen off button. We have a hard back button. This button allows you to tune as well as scroll in the system. Click to enter volume and mute over here. Let's accept the SRT app. See what it does for us. The home screen shows you what your SRT vehicle is. We have performance timers, 0 to 60 time, quarter mile time, etc. G-force indicator, that's current G-force. We have duplicate gauges. You can also get these in the 7-inch instrument cluster in the Grand Cherokee. If we go down, we have a different set of gauges, coolant temp, transmission temp, and intake air. Go down one more, we have this interesting engine display. It has horsepower, pound-feet of torque, and these are little arcs that go across this gauge right here. If you had an SRT vehicle with boost, they would show you the PSI right here, gear that you're currently in, and then a numerical display for horsepower, torque, oil pressure, etc., as well as your speed. You can go down to options and you can change your home picture, change your vehicle color, etc., to match your actual vehicle. Hit the back button. We can go on to the Wi-Fi hotspot if your vehicle is so equipped and you have the appropriate service. You can use this as sort of a moving MiFi. This is SiriusXM Travel Link. We get fuel prices, weather, a current weather map, traffic information, movie listings, sports, etc. Also new for 2014 is this uConnect store where you can buy apps or download free apps to integrate with the system. You do have to have a uConnect account in order to do that, and we don't in this test vehicle, so we can't show you that right now. Moving on to the phone interface, we do have a fully featured Bluetooth phone interface. One thing that's very nice about Chrysler's implementation is we not only have messaging, but we also have a real dial pad right here on the screen, so it's a lot easier to enter phone numbers. The system does support complete voice commands as well as Bluetooth phone download. We have preset buttons up top here, so you can assign these favorites to particular callers and just hit them to dial. Chrysler will optionally integrate Garmin navigation software into uConnect 8.4. This is a little bit different than other systems that are out on the market because it's as if they simply stuck a Garmin nav system inside this small window in the system. It is integrated with the voice commands in the system, but the display doesn't exactly look like everything else. We have emergency information, view maps, and where to. The one funky thing about the system is if you're in this and you're following step by step the navigation commands in the system, you do have to say where to enter an address. However, you can just hit that voice command button and issue a natural voice command completely. Say, navigate me to 123 Main Street in San Mateo, California, and it will go there. Or you have to actually say what you see on the screen. We do have Sirius satellite traffic information displayed on this screen. It's not exactly the snappiest interface that's currently out on the market, but it is very fully featured. This definitely is better for the Grand Cherokee SRT when you compare it to its competition than the Mercedes ML63, which has Mercedes Command in it right now. It's not a very good system. It's pretty old. It's also pretty slow. Compared to the BMW iDrive system in the X5M, this is not quite as slick, but I do think that it's just about as good as the Porsche system. Climate is fairly self-explanatory. We have a sync button here to sync the driver and passenger side. Again, this button right here allows you to control your heated seat, ventilated seat, etc. The other nice thing about this is when you first turn on your Grand Cherokee SRT, a brief version of this pops up on your screen so you can turn on your heated seat or your heated steering wheel right away without having to go through these controls. This is exactly the same thing that you'll find over here on this controls button, just has a second shortcut right there inside the climate, as you can see. Over on the media tab is where you'll find your CD, your iPod, secure digital, and Bluetooth interfaces in uConnect. We have a single CD player available as an option in this system. It's not standard, and you'll notice that there's nowhere right here to stick a CD in this system, and that's because the single slot player is in the center armrest in the Grand Cherokee SRT. If we go back to the iPod interface, you'll notice that the system does support dragging certain items on the screen, like that little slider, so we can scrub our track. Hit the tracks button right over there, and we can see what's on our current playlist. We hit the info button, you can get a little bit more information about this particular track. Browse is where you'll be able to actually browse your media device. We have playlists over here, full access to the media device. It does download most of this information on the fly, so it's a lot quicker to deal with. You can use this knob right here to scroll through your playlists. You can drag this slider, as you can see there, or you can hit the up and down arrow buttons. Wide variety of ways you can navigate these playlists and songs, etc. You can also do them via full voice commands a la Forward Sync, and that does work very well in this system. One thing I'd like to point out is it does work very well with the iPhone 5 as well as iOS 7. It also works extremely well with iPads and other high-draw USB devices. It provides enough power to charge those. That is a very important thing that a lot of manufacturers leave out. Over here on the audio option is where you'll find your balance fader, equalizer, speed-adjusted volume, as well as the surround package. Our particular Grand Cherokee SRT has the Harman Kardon Logic 7 speaker package. It is a nearly $2,000 option in the Grand Cherokee, and it is honestly a little bit bright. So if we take a look at my equalizer right now, I have bass turned all the way down, I have treble turned all the way down, and it still sounds a little bass heavy as well as a little bright. That is one thing to keep in mind. I don't find the same thing in the standard audio package in the SRT as well as the mid-range audio package in the rest of the Grand Cherokee lineup. Moving over to the radio interface, we have a very similar set of preset buttons right across the top. Use that little arrow right there to move back and forth between them. We have a direct access to our map there, so you can see your navigation right there inside your radio. It is kind of a handy feature. You can also do that inside the media section, so you can see where you're navigating at the same time as you're playing with your media device. And you turn that off by just clicking it again. Nice feature. We have a direct tune interface right here, very similar to that phone interface. This is something that a lot of manufacturers leave out of their navigation and infotainment systems. It makes it a lot more difficult to scroll through radio stations as well as Sirius XM stations. Direct access buttons to traffic and weather over there. Same audio screen that we saw earlier right there. We move back. We have a browse button, and we can browse through all of the various presets, favorites in the system, game zone, traffic and weather. You can see all, you can sort by genre. It's very easy to navigate around your Sirius XM using this system. The settings page in the system is where you'll find vehicle settings as well as system settings, display, clock, safety, and driving assistance systems depending on what your vehicle has integrated into it. Since we're in an SRT, we have a completely loaded model with forward collision warning, active braking, park sensing. We can tilt our mirrors in reverse by just clicking that little button there. We have a park view camera. One thing that I'd like to point out here, however, is in this lights section right here, we have our auto dim high beams. This is something that a lot of Chrysler models are starting to get nowadays. However, in order to disable the auto dim high beams, you have to come in here and check that little checkbox. So if you're driving below a certain speed, or the car is just a little bit confused, or you don't want that option on for whatever reason, you have to come in here and turn that off manually. And a lot of vehicles have a physical button somewhere on the dashboard allowing you to turn on and off that option just a little bit more easily. Overall, uConnect 8.4 is one of my favorite infotainment systems regardless of vehicle class or price. This 8-inch system and the smaller 6-inch system all work very, very well. It's very easy to use, very logical, very intuitive, and the voice commands are absolutely excellent in this system. It's not as buggy as Cadillac's Q or as Ford's MyTouch, but delivers many of the same features. And now for 2014, we now have an integrated 911 assistance system that's very similar to General Motors' OnStar system, where it'll call for help, has an integrated cell modem for that. We also have those integrated cellular data services via that Sprint modem that's built in there. Very fully featured, especially when you compare it to a lot of the other American competitors. But even when you compare it to the German competition, especially the Japanese competition, the Japanese had been known for decent electronics, but these days they're really getting kind of far behind from Toyota and Honda. But the Germans have been leading the way up until now, and this really does give the BMW iDrive system as well as Audi MMI a decent run for the money. I would rate the system just below BMW's iDrive system. It is very slick, and the graphics are just a little bit better integrated than this system. However, I do prefer this to Audi's MMI.